Hello and good afternoon. It is Pastor Mark Melnick here with Strike the Mark for Wednesday, February 11th. How are you this morning or this afternoon? I just said that. How are you? Hope you're well. Today's topic, today's discussion is going to be on in its season. In its season. This past Sunday, we talked about fruitfulness, being fruitful in our lives, fruitful in our walk with God. And today I wanted to talk to you about hitting the mark of in its season. Because so often we can be so impatient in a world where things move quickly, in a world where you can have everything at the click of a button or the touch of a screen. We need to realize that God has a plan for things in its season. And so I just wanted to dive into that with you today. You know, one of the things, as I used to be a former teacher, and one of the things that I used to really love watching as a teacher, a coach, is the growth process. You know, I would watch students, athletes come in one year, and, you know, one year they were the tallest kid in the class. They were, you know, the next year they'd come in, they were average size in the class. You know, one year they would be the best at, you know, whatever sport we were doing. And the next year they were just, you know, average at what they were doing because kids caught up. And that's so true in life, right? I mean, think about it. I remember when I played sports and things, and in seasons, different kids, different athletes were better in one season. Maybe, you know, that 5th, 6th grade year. I remember, you know, as a coach, seeing kids that were just phenomenal players at, you know, in the 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. Then they hit the junior high years and, you know, they were still good, but, you know, they weren't the best anymore. And then all of a sudden you get to high school and they disappeared. They didn't even play anymore. And so in life that happens. In fact, there's a Chinese parable that talks about the bamboo plant or bamboo tree, I'm sorry. And maybe you've never heard it. Maybe you have heard it before, but they say that it takes up to 5 years of watering and nourishing the bamboo tree underground. You know, it's you plant it and you water, you nurture, daily water and nurture, water and nurture. And then once it breaks forth, once it comes up out of the ground, boom, within 5 weeks, it could grow up to 90 feet tall. And you might say, what? That's incredible, which I think it is incredible. But here's the thing. Can you imagine? The question becomes, how long did it take for that tree to grow to 90 feet tall? You might say, well, yeah, 5 weeks. I mean, once it came out, boom, it jumped. Well, actually, it took 5 years and 5 weeks for that thing to grow up into that height because there was some time before. There was preparation. There was watering seasons. There was nurturing seasons. And then in its season, once it came up out of the ground, boom, it exploded in growth and reaches up to 90 feet in 5 weeks. I mean, and that is incredible to me when you think about it. And it's so true in life. It's so true in our walk with God. We can be going along, and we call them daily disciplines, right? You could do it in business. You can do it in the way you nurture your kids. But as we walk with God, the same thing. We're doing these things that can seem even mundane. They can seem boring, or they can see like, man, this isn't doing anything. There is no fruit production whatsoever in my life. And then all of a sudden, boom, something happens just like that. And growth explodes. Opportunity meets preparation, and things explode in your life. And that's why we can't despise small beginnings. We can't despise the times in our lives where we're really just plodding along and things can seem mundane and things can seem, kind of ordinary. But then all of the sudden, something grows and something springs up. And within what seemed 5 years just to sprout as that bamboo tree, all of a sudden in 5 weeks, boom, it shoots straight up into 90 feet into the air. And that's so much like each and every one of you. My point today is that the mark I want to hit is that we don't despise the process. The growing and the nurturing and the watering seasons are equally as important as the seasons of rapid growth and development. And so there's a psalm, and I put it here, Psalm 1, verse 1 through 3, that really speaks right to this very thing. It speaks right to the very thing that I want to read it to you, and then we'll just end with that. But it says, "Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the path of sinners, nor sits in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law he meditates day and night. He shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that brings forth its fruit in its season. So important. Whose leaf also shall not wither, and whatever he does shall prosper. Man, that speaks exactly to what we're speaking about here. That as you meditate day and night on the law of the Lord, the Bible, the book of the book here, the good book, as you meditate on it, as you delight in the Lord, and as you keep yourself from ungodly counsel, nor standing in the path of sinners, nor being seated in counsel of those that are scornful, but you're planted by rivers of water that bring forth fruit in its season. And so I'm here to tell you today, when you are planted by those rivers, your leaf won't wither and you'll be able to produce fruit over and over and over again. And just as it says that bamboo tree, once it grows, you can cut it down and boom, it'll shoot right back up again in its season again. But it was the preparation season, the watering and the nurturing. Just like I shared when I was a coach and a teacher, I would see the kids and they would plod along year after year after year. And then all of a sudden I would see them explode in growth, vertically at times, and also athletically or academically. And so it's so important that we don't despise the time of the watering and the nurturing. In fact, some of us don't even spend time watering and nurturing anything. We just hope that it's a microwave society and everything will just pop right out once I put it down in the toaster or once I put it up into the microwave, that within 30 seconds to a minute, everything will work. But I'm here to say that, and the mark that we want to strike today is that there is a process and a season of which God takes us through to grow and to mature and to not despise that process. Don't get frustrated in it, although it's easy to do. Don't get discouraged in it, although it's easy to do, but stay committed to the process. And I'll just share with you a testimony that I saw today of a man that I was just watching. He posted and he said, I'm not posting this to gloat. I'm not posting this to, brag on myself, but he hit a goal, a weightlifting goal. He was squatting. He reached a goal that he's been trying to reach. And his post was so good because it said about consistency, about not giving into the process, about showing up every day. And I was like, man, that's what I'm talking about today. And so be encouraged. In fact, be an encouragement to those that go through the process, because I'm telling you, if you are preparing, if you are getting watered, if you are nurturing, and then all of a sudden, within 5 weeks, maturity can grow. You can sprout up just like that. Don't get lazy. Don't get bogged down by what seems mundane and boring. But in the season that it's supposed to, it will produce. And so I pray that hits the mark for your heart today, that those of you that watch this, that you might be saying, man, that's me. That's me. And if that's you, I want to pray for you. And I just want to stay encouraged, stay faithful, because fruit production is on its way. And so, Lord, I pray for those people right now who might hear this message and say, man, I feel like I've been prodding along day after day, week after week, month after month. And I would say, and just saying, man, I don't know if anything good is going to come of this. But Lord, I pray that they would stay the course. Let the nurturing and the watering come, because a season of maturity is coming. A season of rapid growth is coming as preparation and opportunity meet and collide. And boom, things will spring forth. And so, God, I just pray you bless those people. Give them peace of mind, peace of heart, to know that you are leading them through it. And God, I pray there would be much fruit produced in the seasons ahead in people's lives. And I say in our community around Altoona, Pennsylvania, that there would be so much life that is produced by the diligence of so many people and so many companies and organizations around here. And I just can feel it, that this city is on the edge and on the verge of an explosive growth season, unmatched and unheard of. And people are going to look to this city and say, how did this all happen? And it's not going to be because it happened overnight. It's going to be because there has been people that, a people that have been plotting and working and nurturing and believing and trusting and hoping and knowing that in due season and in its season, fruit will be produced. So bless you with this word. Hope it strikes the mark in your heart and in your mind today. Go forth in hope and in faith, knowing that in its season, fruit will be produced. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. If you're out and about tonight, we have service tonight at Center City. We have it at 6:30 tonight, and we also have it at 10 o'clock on Sundays. So if you're looking for a church, or maybe you're just, in fact, we baptized a gentleman that had never been in a church before this past October. And so we just welcome you and invite you to come on in and hear the word of the Lord and what God is speaking to his people today. God bless you and have a tremendous day. We'll see you.